Stephanie Cassatley, the author of Notice of Release. We've got your book right here. Thanks for joining us. Let's start with your story. This journey began for you when you were 18 years old.
Right.
Tell me about it.
Well, I was a freshman in college, and my mother was shot and killed in a convenience store robbery in New Orleans. And the killer was sentenced to life in prison in Angola State Penitentiary.
So you lived the rest of your life without your mom. Did you know this killer? Did you go try to talk to him? When did things change for you?
To be honest, I actually did not know his name for 20 years. And
really?
I think
Didn't even know his name?
Did not know his name, and I think that was a conscious or unconscious choice on my part, because I think it was easier to vilify him and demonize him if he didn't have a name. So I did not know his name for 20 years.
So what changed you? What changed you to want to go find him, meet him, and essentially forgive him?
Well, I think that my life, as I was living it, was untenable. It was like having a bowling ball strapped to my ankle and just dragging it everywhere. And
did you have happy times?
I did. I mean, I had 2 children. I had a husband. You know, on the surface, I think I looked pretty normal. Yeah. But I think there was a lot of inner turmoil. And what caused me to want to forgive him, which was kind of a blindsiding act, was a talk I heard at a nearby church, St. Mark's down the road. And I heard a man talk about forgiveness. And I think maybe it was just the right time for me to hear that talk, because I really had not been open to it for 20 years.
Forever, yeah.
Forever. And I also think that I was just tired of being in pain and carrying around the bowling ball. So the confluence of those 2 things, I think, really set me up to want to explore the possibility. But it did take me 2 years to actually go through the process. It didn't happen overnight.
And so tell us about Notice of Release. Tell us about your book and what people out there, who's your target audience, who can benefit from this?
Notice of Release is really targeted to anyone who's experienced any kind of trauma, pain, loss in their life, who's seeking to find a way to forgive and doesn't know how. I think it's got a pretty wide target audience, because everyone's been hurt in some form or fashion, in greater or lesser degrees than I have.
Absolutely, and you handed me the steps in forgiving, and it's a 6-step process that I assume you detail in your book. Can you outline those real quickly, just a couple of things?
Sure. The first one really for me is defining forgiveness. What does it mean? Because I think it means different things for different people, and I just want to throw in one quick quote by Desmond Tutu, who for me completely says it, and it's that forgiveness is not condoning the act. It's simply refusing to pay back our perpetrator in his own coin.
Oh, wow.
And so if you can define forgiveness in a way that feels manageable and not like you're giving something away that doesn't feel comfortable, that really helps.
And you have 6 steps that go through in detail, and I assume you go through them in detail in your book. Really quickly before we go, we're kind of running out of time, the Forgiveness Project. Can you tell me really quickly how you're involved?
Yes, it's a international storytelling project started by Desmond Tutu and a Jewish war correspondent. And the idea is to just spread many stories of forgiveness so that other people can see and hear themselves in that and find a way to find peace on their own.
Wow, that's wonderful. A horrific story, and finding some good and helping other people, especially, like we said, in kind of an angry world we live in sometimes. So hopefully you'll help people. Again, those 6 steps detailed in the book. You can find Stephanie's book, Notice of Release, at Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and many other venues. You want to check it out, Notice of Release. Thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.